Hi everyone. What happens if the numerator and the denominator have equal degrees as polynomials? Then there is one HA and it's at y equals L, where L is what number? Well, take a look at this. Consider f of x equals 4x cubed minus x over 5x cubed plus 1. The degree of the numerator is 3. The degree of the denominator is 3. We have equal degrees. So we have more of a fair fight. Before, the denominator totally beat up the numerator in the long run, and the whole thing was dragged towards 0. But here we have more of a fair fight. Now, it turns out that there's an HA. The only HA is at y equals 4/5, or 0.8. Where do we get the 4/5? Where do we get the 4/5? And why does that make sense? Why does it make sense that the HA is at y equals 4/5? Well, 4 is the leading coefficient of the top. 5 is the leading coefficient of the bottom. 4/5 is the ratio of the leading coefficients in order. It's the ratio of the leading coefficients in order. Now, why does that make sense? By the way, here's a graph, y equals 4/5 or 0.8. This graph approaches the line in the long run. Notice this graph touches the HA, that's legal. This graph touches and even crosses over the HA, that is legal. Now, why does that make sense? Why does it make sense that y equals 4/5 is an HA? Because look here, this is informal. You'll analyze this more precisely in calculus, but the top is dominated by the leading term, 4x cubed, especially in the long run. The bottom is dominated by its leading or dominant term, 5x cubed, especially in the long run. So in the long run, as x goes out to plus or minus the millions, billions, or trillions, we're basically dealing with 4x cubed over 5x cubed, which is pretty much 4/5. So if x is going out to the millions, billions, trillions, you're basically talking about 4/5, give or take a little. Let's have Desmos graph this thing, by the way. All right. So we have y equals 4x cubed minus x all over 5x cubed plus 1. If I zoom out, let's say we look at this thing from Mars. It basically looks like a horizontal line. And there's a VA that looks like a vertical line that is a vertical line over here. So in the long run, this thing looks like a cross. There's an HA here and a VA there. Looks like a cross if you look at it from Mars. And where's the HA? It's at y equals 4/5 or 0.8. I'll flash it. The red graph really approaches the blue graph in the long run. In fact, in the long run, it basically looks like the blue graph. The vertical line here is the VA. So in the long run, this thing looks like a cross. Okay, so if I ask you to plug in x equals 1,000,000, it's going to be pretty much 4/5, give or take a tiny bit.